OpenAI's Whisper model is simply amazing. In this video, I'll show you how you can basically download a YouTube video, convert that video into audio, and then generate text from all the audio that exists in your video. This can be useful when you think of creating subtitles for your video, and with the accuracy that Whisper has to offer, most of the subtitles that would be generated would be fairly accurate. So without wasting any further time, let me kickstart the video by showing you the install section of the code. So let me quickly unhide this. So I'll require 3 basic libraries for the entire execution to happen. I require PyTube. PyTube is essentially required to download your YouTube file into an MP4 format. I require FFmpeg Python, which is required for converting your video to audio. And finally, I require the Whisper module to basically generate text using audio. So without wasting any further time, let me start the installation process. Given that the installation is happening, I have chosen the runtime type to be GPU. If you choose CPU, the entire execution will take a while because Whisper's model will take good amount of time to make a prediction on the entire audio file. So it's better to run the entire execution on GPU as compared to CPU. Now that the installation is done, I'll quickly go to the import section of the code. Here is where I'll kind of import all the necessary modules. So let me quickly run this cell. The imports are done. Now in order to generate text from your YouTube video, you first have to download the YouTube video, which is where this particular function comes into picture, which is download_video_mp4. I pass in the input URL, that is the YouTube URL, which I want to extract in form of an MP4 file. Firstly, I create a YouTube object called as yt equal to YouTube and I pass in the YouTube URL. Next up, I want the highest resolution YouTube file. So there are different resolutions for YouTube videos. You have a 1080p video, you have a 4K video. I want the highest resolution video to be downloaded into this variable called as video. And then I call the video.download function, which will go forward and download the actual video for which I've created an object called as video. So let me quickly run this cell so that I import this function in memory. Now here is where I'll call the function called as download_video_mp4 and I pass in one of my previous videos itself. So I pass in the YouTube URL. So I'll quickly run this cell now. So the video has been downloaded. If I go to the file section of the video as well, I can see that there is a video downloaded. If I want to verify this using Python itself, then I'll call the os.list directory function. So I'll quickly run this cell. As you can clearly see, I have my file here, which is an MP4 file. So this is basically a video file. If I also want to look at the overall size of this file in terms of bytes, then I'll just say ls minus al. So here is the size of the file in bytes. So it's a huge file. Next up, I'll quickly go down. Now we've successfully downloaded the video from YouTube. Now we have to convert that video into audio, which is where this function kind of comes into picture. Firstly, I'll accept this particular file name as input. Next up, I'll create the same file with an MP3 extension, which will be an audio file. I'll take in the video file as an input through the FFmpeg library that I've just installed. And I'll save this entire thing into a variable called as stream. Once the stream is ready, I'll kind of now convert that input file, which is an MP4 file, into an MP3 file, and all of the conversion would happen automatically through FFmpeg. So I'll quickly run this cell as well. Now if I go and look at the different files that are there in my current working directory, I'll say os.listdir. I have my MP4 file, which is where I want to pass this into my function, which is create audio file. So I'll pass in the index, which is starting from 0, 1. So I'll pass in 1 here. So I'll quickly run this cell. So the file is ready. As you can clearly see, it's replicated the same file name of the video, and now the file extension is basically .mp3. So this is what I have. If I have to check now if the file is created or not, I'll quickly run the command os.list directory again. And here is where I have the mp3 file as well. So I have my video. So if you remember the blogs that we've created so far, I had a YouTube URL. I converted that URL into a video file. I basically used that URL to download the video from that particular URL into my local machine. Once I had the video file with me, I've basically used FFmpeg to convert that video to audio, and I have an mp3 file with me. Now I have to basically transcribe that file or extract text from that particular file, which is where OpenAI's open sourced Whisper model comes into picture. So let me quickly unhide this cell. So I'll quickly load the model by calling whisper.load_model, and I require just the base model given that this is more of an exploratory exercise that I'm doing. So I'll quickly run the cell. Now that the model is up and running, I create a function called as transcribe, wherein I just have to pass the audio file directory, and I have to call the model.transcribe function, pass in the audio file directory, and the result would basically be a dictionary. Inside the dictionary, there will be a key called as text, and the value of that key would correspond to all the transcription that is available in that video file. So I basically have to extract that, which is what I achieve in the final line of code. So I'll quickly run this. Now, just to be sure, I am transcribing the audio file. So when I call os.list dir, the second file is now the mp3 file and not the mp4 file. So the index is 1, which is what I pass here. So I quickly run this cell. Now that the output is ready, let me go forward and show you the output as well. So I'll quickly run this cell. Here is the entire transcription of my video. The storm that has been started by ChatGPT doesn't seem to stop. So these are the exact lines that I kickstarted my previous video with, and that is what I'm noticing here. So the overall output is fairly good. You may find some amount of discrepancies because I've loaded, say, a base model. If you want more accurate results, you can go for even bigger models that have been open sourced by Whisper. So this is something that I wanted to show you. I wanted to show you the power of OpenAI's Whisper model, which can kind of find its use cases in multiple sectors, like say the customer service industry, wherein there are a lot of calls attempted at customer agents to solve or resolve problems. So there you can identify different trends in terms of what people are speaking about. The entire transcription industry has been hit by a storm called as OpenAI's Whisper model, and the entire solution is so very accurate that you start thinking of different ways in terms of how you can utilize this amazing model. So this is what I wanted to share with all of you today. If you've stayed this far, here is a fun fact for you. The entire code that you have seen in this example today has been created by ChatGPT. I just fed in what I wanted to achieve in ChatGPT, and I basically got the output in form of Python code. So yes, this is all that I had in today's video. I created an entire Python script for an application using ChatGPT, and the entire script was again powered by one of OpenAI solution, which is Whisper. So these are exciting times with respect to machine learning, artificial intelligence. If you want to be updated with respect to the latest advancements of AI and ML, please feel free to subscribe to my channel and also hit the bell icon to be notified for amazing videos that I create in the near future with respect to data science and machine learning. Thank you so much for watching the video.